exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. He's Hacker.
Talk about a fried egg. I lasted about 5 minutes out there. I said, to heck with this. I'll do this in the morning. And I don't have any inside information. The lady that did it, she got in there. She made it happen.
And he doesn't shy away from opinion.
And I do enjoy drinking cold beer at ballparks. So if that makes me a baseball fan, then I'm a diehard baseball fan.
It's Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
And a very good Friday evening to you, Jacksonville. We're glad you're with us to close out the week here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM with Dylan Denmark. The Hacker Ryan Green with you as, we embark on a weekend of championship college football. Conference championships will be decided. In fact, I guess if you want to get technical about it, the first college football playoff ticket ever will be officially punched tonight, right? And of all conferences to do that, it'll be in the Mountain West because the winner of Boise State and UNLV is going to the college football playoff. Now, what's crazy about it, and I was telling Denmark this before showtime tonight, everybody's talking about Boise State, the Heisman hopeful at running back. I mean, they're the story. Yeah, Denmark, by my calculation, and you're, more into the numbers, I guess, than I am, but if I'm reading this correctly, UNLV is 4 quarters away from a playoff berth themselves, correct?
You have to wait for the other group of fives, but if Boise wins, it's definitely official. They'll go. UNLV, you still got to wait for the other group of fives because you have, Army. But I'm sure UNLV would probably get that nod.
Because UNLV comes in tonight number 20 in the country. If they beat number 10 Boise, it would be interesting if Army were interested in there because Army plays Navy next Saturday. I have no idea what would happen in that scenario. The easiest thing for the committee is if Boise State wins. But yeah, I mean, what if Boise State doesn't win tonight? What if UNLV wins that game? So we'll keep you updated. The Mountain West Championship kicking off. Of course, tomorrow you got Georgia and Texas in the SEC championship game. Now, both of those teams are already in, but the winner tomorrow will get a bye. The loser will have to play in round number 1. That's what's at stake tomorrow. Same thing in the Big Ten. Winner of the Big Ten championship game between Oregon and Penn State will get a bye. The loser will have to play in the first round. In the ACC, it's a little more complicated. Clemson has to win to get in the playoff. And you could probably argue that SMU has to win. Could SMU still get in with a loss? Yeah, they could. But is anybody going to feel confident that the committee's going to take an 11-2 SMU over a 9-3 Alabama? I don't know. So I think it would behoove SMU to win the game tomorrow to secure their spot. And in the Big 12, it's already a playoff game. Arizona State, Iowa State, the winner is in, the loser is out. So it's going to be a really, really interesting college football Friday night and Saturday. It begins with UNLV and Boise State in a matter of moments. And then, of course, Nashville, Tennessee on Sunday for the 2-10 Jaguars and the 3-9 Tennessee Titans. That's where we're going to begin tonight because every night on Hacker After Dark, we do kick it off with a big deal of the night and Dylan Denmark. Let's do that right now.
Time now for the big deal of the night.
What's the big deal?
What is the big deal? No, because it is a big deal.
On Hacker After Dark.
All right, my final thoughts on the Jaguars and the Titans. It is what it is, right? 5 games to go. The Jaguars have been mathematically eliminated from the playoffs. Trevor Lawrence is out for the remainder of the year. The next 5 games are all about the young guys, and they're all about Mac Jones, a hometown kid trying to rejuvenate his NFL career here in his hometown of Jacksonville, Florida, getting this 5-game tryout to try to impress other clubs. Now, Worst case scenario for Mac Jones, you re-sign here in Jacksonville as Trevor's backup, which I would be totally fine with. Best case, he goes out there, performs very well over this next month or so, and gets an opportunity this offseason to go compete for a starting spot with another NFL team. As far as the young guys, I want to see as much of Ventrell Miller and Jarian Jones and Mason Smith and Jordan Jefferson as I can. I want to see as much of Brian Thomas and Parker Washington, Brenton Strange, Tank Bigsby as I can. Do I care if Jacksonville wins a single game the rest of the year? No, I don't. I would be lying to you if I told you I cared if they won or not. Do I hope they lose? I'm probably closer to that than hoping they win. I mean, the reality of the situation is this. When you're out of the playoffs, when your starting quarterback is done for the year, and when you currently hold the number one draft spot in the first week of December, it behooves you to lose. You can say all the right things, right? And I'm not talking about the players and the coaches. Of course, they're going to try to win. I'm not saying that. They're obviously going to try to win. I'm talking to you, the good men and women that listen to Hacker After Dark every night. You can say all the right things. Oh, I want the team to go out there and win, end the year with some positive momentum. Carry some positive momentum into the offseason. And that all sounds good, right? That all is warm and fuzzy. That's not reality. Reality is winning games now hurts you when it comes to April's draft. That's where you are when you're 2-10 and you're injured and banged up and you're starting quarterbacks out for the year. You don't want to win a lot of games, or at least I don't. Again, I'd be lying to you if I told you I wanted them to win a lot of games. When it comes to this Sunday, I don't think I have to worry about that, though, because I think Tennessee is going to win this game pretty easily, and I'll tell you why. I think this game is much more important to Tennessee. You got a first-year head coach in Brian Callahan, who's come under fire this year, starting 3-9. He's still looking to implement his culture. You got a quarterback in Will Levis that Tennessee is still trying to figure out if he's the franchise guy or not. You got a wide receiver there in Calvin Ridley that's going to be unbelievably motivated to play the Jacksonville Jaguars on Sunday. Never mind the fact that the game is in Nashville. Good Jaguar teams don't win in Nashville, much less maybe the worst Jaguar team in franchise history. And, oh, by the way, that Tennessee defensive line 2 weeks ago got after C.J. Stroud. Between Jeffrey Simmons and Harold Landry and Arden Key and all these guys, do we have a lot of confidence that they're not going to get to Mac Jones very often? You add all that up, you put it in a pot, you stir it up. Give me the Titans on Sunday. I'll say Tennessee 26, Jacksonville 16. I'll take the Titans by 10. I think Jacksonville falls to 2-11. And again, I would not be complaining about that. Go out, play well, have the young guys do some nice things, get Brian Thomas 60, 70, 80 yards receiving. Maybe a sack or two for Hines Allen, Trayvon Walker. But at the end of the day, I would be lying to you if I said I hope the Tennessee Titans probably didn't win this game. Because losses now for the rest of the year, no matter what you can say, there's one indisputable fact. Wins now hurt you when it comes to April's draft. Translation, you may not want to admit it, but you're probably like me. Good showing. At the end of the day, you hope they have less points on the scoreboard than their opponent, which I believe will be the case. Again, give me the Titans. When it comes to the college football playoff, this is how I think things will play out this weekend. Boy, there's a part of me that wants to pick UNLV tonight just for the chaos of it all, but I won't. Give me Boise State. I don't know much about Iowa State and Arizona State other than both Matt Campbell and Kenny Dillingham are very good coaches. They love Dillingham in Tempe. Love him. It's an interesting game. I've probably seen more of Arizona State this year. So give me the Sun Devils to go to the playoff as Big 12 champions. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take SMU. I'm going to take the Mustangs, man. They're good. They're 11-1. Their only loss was, I believe, like the second week or third week of the year to BYU. They went undefeated in ACC play. Now, it'll be a Clemson home game tomorrow night in Charlotte. But people have doubted SMU all year, and they just keep winning games. So give me Rhett Lashley and the Mustangs. Who would have ever thought that? SMU in the first year of the playoff. I think it happens tomorrow night. As far as the Big Ten, I'll take Oregon over Penn State, but both teams get in. And then in the SEC, it's hard to beat a team twice, particularly hard to beat a team twice in what, a 5-week stretch? So for that and that alone, give me the Texas Longhorns, which would probably leave a pretty bad taste in the mouths of a lot of SEC homers, maybe myself. You could argue. The SEC goggles. If Texas comes in year number 1 and wins the conference, which I think is going to happen tomorrow. Again, it's hard to beat a team twice. And keep in mind, Georgia dominated these guys a few weeks ago. Little added fuel, little added motivation for Texas, perhaps. I think Texas gets it done, but Georgia still gets in the playoff. They're just hosting a playoff game in round 1. Texas, to me, will get the bye. Should be a good week of football. Again, we'll have the Titans and the Jaguars here for you on the radio. Pre-game coverage beginning at 8 a.m. Post-game coverage goes all the way through 8 p.m., which includes the 5th quarter. Myself, the head coach Dave Campo, the Pro Bowler Leon Searcy will have the 5th quarter for you 2 hours after the Jaguars and the Titans go final right here on 1010XL on Sunday evening. That's the radio portion of this game. On TV, CBS has it, and our buddy Andrew Catalan is on the play-by-play. He's like Mr. Jaguar when it comes to CBS. Always get a warm and fuzzy feeling when Catalan is on the call. And Andrew Catalan joins us next here on Hacker After Dark. Let's preview Jacksonville, Tennessee. What on earth has gone wrong with both teams? The man who will be calling it for CBS on Sunday, my friend Andrew Catalan, joins me next on a Friday night in Jacksonville, Florida. We're glad you're with us. Hacker After Dark right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
He's a true American underdog.
I fought for my spot, and I know what it takes to make a championship run. I'm Tom McManus. Join me for stories and insight on Jaguars Today.
Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson Windows and Doors. Fridays on 1010XL.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
We heard you loud and clear, Jags fans, and we're taking it back to the 90s again. The Prowler throwback jerseys return to the field Sunday, December 15th, when your Jaguars take on the New York Jets. Be at the bank to see them in action while joining us for our Inspire Change game. To lock in your seats, head to jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We'll see you at the bank.
This holiday season, Capital One reminds you to give yourself the gift of 1.5% cash back with the Capital One Quicksilver Card.
Can I earn 1.5% cash back on birds?
Birds?
What if you sent your true love 2 turtle doves plus a partridge in a pear tree?
Sure, but why would anyone want that?
The song was very convincing.
Earn 1.5% cash back on all your holiday purchases with the Capital One Quicksilver Card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details. thinning or balding hair? Introducing scalp micropigmentation now at IHRS. SMP is a procedure for men and women, looks like your own growing hair, and corrects thinning areas. SMP is perfect for men and women who shave their head and want a full head of hair look. Call IHRS now, 904-777-IHRS, 904-777-4477, or visit hairforme.com today.
Put your best foot forward and score 60 minutes of soccer insight on the Sporting Jack Soccer Hour. Join Cole Pepper, Mauricio Ruiz, and Becky Burley for Soccer Talk.
Tuesday nights at 6
on 1010 a.m.
Bull riding. The perfect fusion of strength, skill, and pure willpower. Professional bull riders aren't just athletes. They're daredevils with cowboy souls. Come experience the true modern West, where 8 seconds of glory will create a lifetime of memories. It's the Michelob Ultra PBR Jacksonville at ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena, February 22nd and 23rd. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.com and PBR.com. Hold on tight. The ride of your life is about to begin.
Ready to sharpen your aim or find the perfect firearm? Come to St. Nicholas Guns and Range. With a huge selection of guns, ammo, and accessories, plus Jacksonville's best indoor range for every skill level. They've got everything you need to hit your target. Whether you're a pro or just starting out, their friendly experts will guide you every step of the way at 4630 Blanding Boulevard or online at stnickguns.com. St. Nicholas Gun and Range. Gear up, shoot a lot, shoot better.
This is your Mad Dad's Update with Chapter President Donald Ford. In our effort to curb crime, drugs, and violence during the summer months, we are offering Friday Night Lights. It has already started and will be going until school starts back. It is every Friday night from 6:30 to 9:30 at the Blacktop, 5732 Normandy Boulevard, and behind the Potter's House Christian Academy. We manage 3 basketball courts. You are not running on the cement. We have covering on each court. The Lakers, the Magic, and the Heat. Ages 15 to 40 years old. This will give them something to do other than selling drugs and getting into trouble. We have monitors there giving leadership. We have to wake up, stand up, and speak up. Hit me on Facebook and tell me what you think. Or MattDadJacksonville.com.
Imagine driving a late model Corvette, BMW, Mercedes, Lexus, Honda, Chevy, Ford, and more, all at a fraction of the original sticker price. Visit Vaughn Motor Group's indoor showroom and browse a great selection of dream cars that are inspected with warranties. Before you make your next auto purchase, check out Vaughn Motor Group on San Jose Boulevard or at VaughnMotorGroup.com for a complete inventory listing. If you can dream it, you can drive it at Vaughn Motor Group.
When pests invade your space, you don't just need them out, you need them out fast. And you need to keep them out. At Terminix, we show up for you and eliminate pests quicker because we care about what matters most to you. When pests show up, so do we. Don't live with a pest problem. Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com. TERMINIX.com. Terminix it.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line.
Hello.
We can wiggle it.
Back here on 1010XL at 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. The Jaguars and the Titans, Sunday at 1 o'clock. Of course, you'll hear the game on the radio here on 1010XL. For the TV broadcast, Andrew Catalon will be on the call for CBS Sports, and Andrew's always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. Andrew, how you doing, man?
Hey, Ryan. Happy holidays. Always good to talk to you.
Hey, buddy, we certainly appreciate the time. Know it's a very busy time for you. And the last time you and I spoke, there was still hope here in Jacksonville. There was some optimism that maybe they could turn the season around. And that has all basically been crushed and destroyed in the 8 weeks since our last conversation. Andrew, when you look at this Jaguar team as you're getting ready for this game against the Titans on Sunday, in your opinion, man, what went wrong here in 2024?
Wow, that's a tough question to start with, but you're right. I saw them week 9 in Philadelphia. At that point, when we spoke, they were 2-6. You still had some hope that maybe they could turn things around. Didn't really play that poorly of a game in Philly, but still came up short. And that just kind of seems like their MO this year. I mean, they've just lost a lot of close games. They haven't been able to finish in the fourth quarter. They haven't been able to put teams away. Go back to week 1 with the ETN fumble, and that just kind of sent them on a spiral that they've, haven't been able to recover from. So is there one thing that's gone wrong? No, I think it's many things. But if you want to point to a common theme, it's that killer instinct. It's that ability to put teams away late in games that they just have not been able to do this year. And, I did the game week 4 in Houston. That was another game that was, for the taking late in the contest, and they just couldn't find a way to get it done. So, yes, there's some blowouts mixed in there. There's injuries, but every team goes through that. I just look at a lot of the final scores of these games, and I know some of it's window dressing, but for the most part, I feel like they've been in a lot of these games and just have not gotten the job done late.
Well, and that's the thing, and you alluded to it. Again, Andrew Catalan of CBS here with us. He'll be on the call Sunday for the Jaguars and the Titans. I believe 8 of the 10 Jaguar losses you could literally say happened in the last 2 minutes of the game. I mean, it's absolutely incredible, the bad luck, lack of execution, whatever it has been. Boy, it's been maddening for Jaguar fans, as I'm sure you see on social media. And I kind of feel for Jaguar fans because they've been in almost every one of these games with the exception of Chicago and London and earlier this year against Buffalo. But, man, Andrew, whatever seems to go wrong always does go wrong late in these ball games.
Yeah, and that's the common theme, Ryan, right, that we've just talked about. But I don't know if there's like one thing in those moments that goes wrong. I think you kind of hit on it. Every game seems to be a different circumstance. And I agree with you. I feel bad for Jaguars fans as well. I mean, I think there was high expectations coming into this year. Trevor getting the new contract. Some of the young core nucleus starting to emerge. You thought maybe they'd take the next step. It just hasn't happened. Quite frankly, in a division that is there for the taking. Houston has struggled. We saw how close the Jaguars were to beating them a week ago. I feel like if Jacksonville, think about how if they were 500 right now, just, how they'd be right in the mix in December. And it just didn't fire for them this year. I'd like to think it's an anomaly. I'd like to think they still have a good core that can compete for a division as soon as next year. But, again, we thought that this year, and it didn't happen. I think that's the disappointment for sure.
You've called a lot of Jaguar-Texan games. You mentioned you called the one earlier this year. I will tell you, Andrew, if I were you, I would lobby to get 1 or 2 of those next year because after what happened with Azeez Al-Shire here in Jacksonville on Sunday, boy, the Jaguar fan base might have replaced the Titans on top of their, hatred list. And then, the D'Amico Ryans comments earlier this week. I don't want you to comment on that necessarily, but just your thoughts on that whole situation with Trevor getting essentially knocked out last week.
Yeah, it was tough to watch. I've heard both sides of it. I've seen both sides of it. I've met with Al-Shire in production meetings. He has a great story. He came from very little outside of Tampa, slept on the floor of, motels with his family. They didn't have any money. I mean, he's a guy who's worked hard for what he has gotten in the NFL. But that doesn't change what he did. That doesn't mean he shouldn't be suspended. I mean, I know Nick Caserio and D'Amico Ryans defended his character, and that's fine. And I saw that when I met with him. But that doesn't change what happened on the field. And as the NFL has said, it's not the first time they've had to fine him this year. He's had some other things that have come up. I remember the punch on the sideline against Chicago. I think the NFL, had the right number here. He's going to appeal. Will it go down to 2 games? It might. But it's a hit that doesn't belong in the game. It's a very scary thing that happened. I think the Jaguars responded like most teams would. I think that the Texans, if somebody took a shot at C.J. Stroud, would be doing the same thing. So, I think that what the NFL did is the right thing, and I think that now both teams have to move on. But you're right. The first game next year could be interesting. I agree with you on that.
I think one of the big angles that I've looked at, too, is in March, Jaguar Twitter, Titan Twitter were constantly refreshing, and then it came up that Calvin Ridley spurns Jacksonville and goes to Tennessee. And then Jacksonville had to pivot, Andrew, and they pivoted to a guy named Brian Thomas Jr. There's no way they draft Brian Thomas Jr. in the first round if Calvin Ridley were still here. He's a Titan, so the Jaguars had to do something about that. They drafted Brian Thomas Jr. Clearly that dynamic, Ridley against his old team, Brian Thomas Jr., that should be interesting on Sunday.
Yeah, love that. And all the things, and we're planning to meet, our crew on CBS is planning to meet with Thomas on Saturday. I look forward to meeting him. Have not had a chance to talk to him yet, but all the things that we've heard from his teammates and his coaches in the times that we've had the Jaguars this year, really positive. I mean, a guy that has played through injury, he's wanted to be out there. And I think that says a lot when you have a rookie who is going to fight through things, especially in a long season, your first year in the NFL. To try to be out there with his team. So I think that's certainly been one of the bright spots for Jacksonville this year, and he's got a nice future ahead. And you're right, Ridley going against his old team, there was, some thought that he'd be back. Now he's in Tennessee, and that'll be a nice little sidebar for the game on Sunday.
Yeah, when you look at the Titans side of things, you talked about Will Levis, you talked about Calvin Ridley. I've had a couple of guys on from Nashville this week. I know you've had a few Titan games this year already. Brian Callahan, clearly it's hard to come in. I mean, the reason he's there is because Tennessee obviously had struggled. They got, they fired Mike Vrabel. They bring in Callahan. I'm not saying Callahan needed to have a playoff appearance this year, but in talking to some Titans media up there, I've kind of got some mixed reviews on Callahan's year one. Obviously, the win-loss record is not what they would have hoped at 3-9. What's been your opinion of Brian Callahan and the job he's done to this point?
Yeah, I think that, well, first of all, I like when I've talked to him. He's very honest with us. I think he's got a good vision of what it should look like. They just don't look like that yet. And I think that he admittedly would tell you that he's a first-year head coach. I think that's when you hire a guy who's never been a head coach before, there's going to be some growing pains. It's going to happen. It's not an easy job. So, I know that he was the hot coordinator, and we've seen that around the league, but it doesn't always work out in the first year. He's even told us last week that he's finally figuring out what route tree Calvin Ridley likes. He's finally getting to know what Will Levis likes and doesn't like. So I think that, it takes time. It takes reps. It takes experience. Now in the NFL, a lot of people don't have the patience to wait and see how a coach could develop or a quarterback can develop. And I understand that part of it. But from a Tennessee perspective, I think it's too early to say whether he is the guy or is not the guy. But I can tell you that I like his approach, and I think given time, he could be a good head coach in the NFL.
Andrew, as we begin to wrap up, again, Andrew Catalon of CBS here with us. Two teams on Sunday, desperate need of wins. Now, if you talk to both fan bases, particularly the one here in Jacksonville, the thought is, well, a loss isn't the worst thing. A loss now helps you in April. The vibe I've gotten is that Tennessee is not thinking that way. They want to accumulate some wins because of, like you said, Brian Callahan in year one. But clearly the players, the coaching staff, the rivalry, it's a big game for these organizations on Sunday.
Yeah, Ryan, I'm glad you bring that up because, I had the Giants a couple weeks ago and the Jets the week before that. And, you go into these buildings and you see the team practice and you meet with the players and the coaches. These guys want to win. I mean, nobody is thinking about what pick we're going to draft, take in the draft next year. I know the fan bases do, and I get that. I respect that. But no one, like the thought of tanking or not giving it your all or trying different things, like that doesn't cross anyone's mind. And I think that's a misconception sometimes with the fans that, well, whatever, we'll throw this guy out there because we want to lose. That doesn't work that way. I think that's why Trevor Lawrence has wanted to play. He wants to be out there. He wants to give the Jaguars the best chance to win. And Tennessee is the same way. A team with a first-year head coach, a quarterback trying to establish himself to prove that he's the guy, that he can be the guy in Tennessee. I think there's a lot that you'll see these teams be playing for. It's not the matchup that the fans necessarily might perceive it to be. These teams and these coaches want to win.
Andrew, final question. Coming into the year, and it never really works out this way, so it's been surprising. I think a majority of people would probably have told you back on Labor Day, yeah, like Kansas City in the AFC and maybe Detroit is a dark horse in the NFC. And here we are in the month of December, and they're probably spot on, right? Kansas City that would be the number 1 seed in the AFC. Detroit would be the number 1 seed in the NFC. Is that the way you see it? Are they the 2 clear favorites right now as we enter the month of December?
Yes, but I think the gap has been bridged a little bit in both conferences. I think Philadelphia could certainly go into Detroit and win a game there if that is what happens in the championship game. I think that Buffalo, as we already saw, capable of beating Kansas City. I know that they haven't had it this year fire just yet. I still think Baltimore could get hot and make a run. But if you're asking me today, yeah, I think that Kansas City and Detroit are the favorites. But I think if you'd asked me a month ago, I would have felt better about them. A month later, I still feel good, but I don't think it's a slam dunk. I think that you could see some of these other teams go in there, or it's possible Kansas City's going to have to go on the road and beat these teams. So I think it's going to be a really good playoffs. It seems like we already kind of know who the teams are going to be. Obviously, the seeding will be to be decided here the next few weeks. But I think it's going to be a very exciting January into February in the NFL.
Andrew Cattle on CBS Sports. He will be on the call for the Jaguars and the Titans Sunday, 1 o'clock in Nashville. Andrew, when does the college basketball stuff pick up on your schedule? I know you're doing football every Sunday. You starting college hoops pretty soon?
Yeah, we'll get into that after the regular season ends. So sometime in January, I'll start getting my taste of college hoops. Look forward to that. But want to finish the season strong with my crew here. It's been fun being with Jason McCourty and Tiki Barber and AJ Ross, and hopefully some good games here to close out our year.
He's one of our favorites, Andrew Catalon of CBS. Andrew, always appreciate the time. Happy holidays to you and your family. We'll talk again soon.
You too, pal. Thanks, Ryan.
There you go, Andrew Catalon with us here on Hacker After Dark. Always love talking ball with Andrew. And again, he'll be on the call Sunday, CBS, for the Jaguars and the Titans. Coming up next, Dante Marchitelli of the FanDuel Sports Network on the Orlando Magic. Maybe the biggest surprise in the NBA right now. Orlando comes into tonight's play 16-8, third best record in the Eastern Conference, fourth most wins in the NBA, and they've done all that without their superstar, Paolo Banchero, who's missed every game since Halloween with a torn oblique muscle. Hopefully he'll be coming back sooner rather than later, but your best player's out for over a month, and you're still 16-8, and you've won 13 out of your last 15. Dante Marchitelli of the FanDuel Sports Network talking Magic, talking Orlando, and talking about their connection to the First Coast here with Jacksonville. That comes up in just a moment. I will tell you, there is high school football going on tonight. Denmark, it's not looking good. We got 3 teams remaining in the state semis. Right now, Reigns is trailing Sarasota Booker 23-14 at halftime. Trinity Christian is trailing Shamadan Madonna 21-0 in the third quarter. And St. Augustine is trailing Plantation American Heritage 28-9. If we don't have a team in any of the state championship games, Denmark, would your thoughts be on that?
It'd be a failure, I think. I mean, there's a lot of talent here in the city, man, and I know it's tough to make a state championship run, but it's, time and time again, you just see the teams down from Miami, and you see one team from Tampa, one team from Orlando usually go, and Jacksonville usually at least brings 1 or 2, some good years of 3. Having 0 would definitely be a disappointment.
Of those 3 games, I mean, Plantation American Heritage, that's Tyson Campbell's alma mater. That's Pat Surtain's alma mater. I mean, they're loaded, right? So St. Augustine, you kind of expected them to have a tough time with them, especially on the road. That was like a 5.5, 6-hour trip. Same thing with Trinity Christian. Shamadan Madonna is a powerhouse down there. The one, I guess, surprising one right now is Reigns trailing by 9 at halftime to Sarasota Booker. these two teams, how should we say this, exchange pleasantries in the pregame warm-up. There was a lot of talk from both of these schools back and forth during the week. But Booker talked the talk, and at least right now they're walking the walk in the graveyard up 9. That would be a pretty decent upset, would it not?
Yeah, definitely. Reigns has not played a close game all year with anybody, really. And for them to be trailing 23-14 right now is surprising to me. I thought they'd be, up right now. But, we'll see. He's still got a whole half to go. St. Augustine and Trinity, you're taking a long bus ride all the way down there. I think Chaminade and American Heritage I might be mistaken, might be a little off. I think they both had 9 guys early sign this week. They have their work put up against them.
We got to go quick here, but this goes back to the whole metro suburban thing. St. Augustine would not have to do this if we were still in the metro suburban world. We are not. So a team from St. Johns County had to go down to play a team from Miami. Is that fair?
The pool of kids that American Heritage can get is a lot more. I don't know if fair is the right word. They definitely have an advantage because the pool of kids that you can get is just a lot more compared to what St. Augustine can get. Nobody wanted the suburban and metro to continue. So I don't know what's the right thing to do, moving forward if you didn't want that.
Well, we'll see what happens in these games. Again, the 3 local teams that are left in our area, Reigns, Trinity Christian, and St. Augustine, all trailing in their respective ball games. To the NBA, Dante Marchitelli of the FanDuel Sports Network talking Orlando Magic with you. That's next. Hacker After Dark on a Friday right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Let's take it down the field and win it. It's a different kind of Sunday drive. 10th play of the drive here. Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville brings you the drive of the game. Here's the ball game on 1010XL.
Awaken 180 weight loss. Awaken 180 weight loss. I'm heading into the weekend, really excited, got a lot planned, but I got a game plan because I met with my coach earlier this week. We talked about the 7 days ahead, what's going on in my life, what issues may arise, and we kind of mapped out a plan. I've been doing this for the better part of the last 9 months, and as a result of my coach and the great program with Awaken 180, you guys know this, I've lost 110 pounds. Actually, a little more than that now, to be honest with you. I've gone from 317 to roughly about 205. Hopefully, we'll be under the 200 mark in the next week or two. And it's all thanks to the best weight loss program I've ever been on. Look, the results speak for themselves. If you need to lose 100 pounds, if you need to lose 20, any point in between, do what I did. It's that simple. Go to awaken180weightloss.com, awaken180weightloss.com. You could be their next success story. Awaken 180 weight loss.
If you are an experienced electrician looking for your next big opportunity, look no further than the Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller Electric, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering you the chance to showcase your skills on a grand scale. We believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people actually care about each other. Take your career to new heights with Miller Electric Company. Apply today at millercareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Our first contestant, a stay-at-home gymnast from Jacksonville, Florida, it's Gwendolyn Beers.
Thank you, Monty. I don't know who installed my air conditioner, but it hasn't had a tune-up in over 3 years. Am I cool?
Let's ask our expert judging panel. Judges? I'm sorry, Gwendolyn. You're not cool. Johnny, tell her why.
That's right. To keep your air conditioner performing at its best, you need a skilled technician to check your pressures, voltages, and air filters in the fall and the spring. At Bueller Air and Plumbing, our club members get 2 free visits a year to make sure that you are cool.
Can you tell me if my haircut is sexy?
You're better off not asking.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Help fight skin cancer by playing golf at the Hit 'em Straight Golf Tournament December 30th at Queens Harbor for a day of food and fun while raising money for the Melanoma Research Foundation. To sign up, call 904-507-1401.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. Hurricanes happen in Florida. That's not news. But what happens even more often than hurricanes are home break-ins. And if security is important to you, you might want to look into hurricane-rated impact windows.
What you may not know is that hurricane-rated impact windows not only help protect your home in case of a hurricane, but they also offer another level of security for your home.
Have you seen those videos on YouTube that show people trying to break through an impact window? A thief is way too lazy to spend his energy trying to break through one of our impact windows. That's why he doesn't have a real job like you. He'd rather break your non-impact window while you're at work. Window World has high-quality, very affordable hurricane-rated impact windows to help protect your home from hurricanes and from lazy thieves.
Call us today at 904-443-7001. Get a free estimate and see for yourself. You save energy, get more security, and the windows add value to your home. With all Window World windows, you get the best guarantee in the window replacement business.
Window World, simply the best for less. And thank you for your business.
When you're hungry for midday sports talk, share a table with helmets and heels.
It's a bad idea to travel on an empty stomach.
Mia, Lauren, and Taylor.
We like hungry.
Switched on by First Coast Lighting and Fans.
Noon to 2 weekdays on 1010 XL.
Protect your home with Tyson Sound and Security. Denny Thompson here. Porch Pirates are on the prowl. But with their smart doorbell camera, you'll see who's at your door whether you're home or not. Tyson's smart doorbell camera gives you peace of mind detecting people and packages, keeping your family and belongings safe all season long. Call Tyson Sound and Security today for holiday savings on cameras and home security systems. Enjoy a worry-free holiday with Tyson Sound and Security.
Mia here. When it comes to roofing, whether it be shingles, metal, or most repairs, there is one name that has protected your home since 1999. Pro Jax Roofing. Serving all of Northeast Florida, Mike and his guys have been repairing and replacing roofs for 25 years. Need insurance help? Mike's team can help. Raised in a military family, Mike provides great attention to detail with unparalleled quality and workmanship. They also have warranties, so you can have peace of mind. Call Mike today for a free estimate or online at projaxroofingfl.com.
The Sawgrass Marriott Golf Resort and Spa is the perfect place for indulging in a pampering spa treatment. This holiday season, give the gift of wellness with a gift card and take advantage of the spa's current promotion. With the purchase of a $75 gift card or more, guests get a credit towards a future service. With healing massages, revitalizing facial treatments, and more, a day at the Sawgrass Spa makes the perfect gift. Purchase in person at Sawgrass Spa during operating hours.
When you need a mechanic you can trust, visit AA Automotive on Richard Street. For oil changes to complex repairs, AA Automotive is a full-service repair shop for personal and commercial fleet vehicles. Trust AA to keep your ride running A-OK.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line.
Hello.
We can wiggle it.
Back here on 1010XL at 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. The NBA, we're already, golly, almost 2 months in. And one of the big surprises is the Orlando Magic. No question about it. They are doing very well despite not having Paolo Banchero for about 85% of the year to this point. Orlando, by the way, 25 some odd games in, 16 of which have been on the road, which is wild. And yet, despite that, Orlando's still third in the Eastern Conference. Let's talk to a man that you see every night with the Orlando Magic on the FanDuel Sports Network. That's my friend Dante Marcatelli, always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL in Jacksonville. Dante, how are you, pal?
I'm doing great. We're enjoying the start to the season. We're off to a good run. As good as I thought the Magic were doing and we were doing here to start the season, we're not nearly as good as you and what you've done here the last 8 months. That's pretty impressive here, Ryan. So congrats on your journey. Sounds like you're doing a terrific job.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, my Orlando Magic clothes are a lot smaller now than they used to be. No question about that.
Good for you.
All right,
impressive.
So I remember Halloween. Wasn't that long ago. I was taking my 5-year-old trick-or-treating. We were all fired up, and then I get the alert on my phone. that Paolo Banchero is going to be out 4 to 6 weeks with a torn oblique. And you want to talk about just the air coming out of the balloon. And Paolo had just come off a 50-point game early in the year. Dante, from that moment to where we are now, it's absolutely incredible. Not only has Orlando survived Banchero's injury, dare I say they've sort of thrived. I mean, you're around the team every day. How surprised are you by this?
Well, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't shocked. I mean, I think everybody is. I think you thought, okay, well, it's going to take a little bit to get some footing. When this first happened, you got your best player, your leading scorer, an all-star. Guy was playing like an MVP candidate. There were talks, so he was showing up on the MVP ladder 5 games into the season, which is crazy to do that early. But that's how good he was, and that's how good the start to the season was for him. And the team was 3-1 going into that. Going into a big 5-game road trip, and then just an absolute gut punch, as you mentioned, kind of took the wind out of everyone's sails. And then it took the team some time to recover on that road trip. You end up losing 5 consecutive games. Now, that news coincided with games at Cleveland, at Dallas, at OKC, and then closing it out at Indiana. So there's no shame in losing to those opponents. Nobody has been beating those opponents on their own floor. So it was a little bit, okay, is this who we are? Or are we going to be able to dig out of this? Or did we just run into some tough competition and were they playing okay? So you thought, can you keep this thing afloat? Can you keep it around 500, maybe hover around 500 until you get Paolo back? And then they kind of started going on a little bit of a win streak. You got back to 500 after that 5-game losing streak. And then they just took off. I mean, Ryan, they're the 4th most wins in the NBA with 16 here tonight coming into this game, 16-8. You've won 13 of 15. You're the hottest team in the NBA during the last 15 games. Nobody could have predicted this and projected what would happen in the absence of Paolo Banchero. So they're beating the teams they're supposed to beat. They're winning on the road. If they win tonight against Philly, you'll be 8-8 on the road after starting 1-7. I mean, it's just remarkable what they've been able to pull off here of late.
Well, and not only, Dante, the Banchero injury, but Wendell Carter has missed 12 games as well, and now he's back and making a nice impact. And with the Banchero injury, you wondered, well, how are they going to survive? Well, I'll tell you how they've survived, and there are numerous aspects of it. But first and foremost, for any of those people that thought the contract extension for Franz Wagner was too much money or whatever verbiage you want to use, you haven't heard a lot of that in the last few weeks because Franz Wagner is playing at an MVP level right now.
Oh, he's been fantastic. You're exactly right. I mean, he's got the last game against Philly, it was the 7th time this year he's gone for 30 points in a game, and he did it 7 times all of last year. So he's done it 7 of his, of his first handful of games here, his first 24 games, which is absolutely remarkable. He's gone for 30 in 4 of his last 8, 7 of his last 13. He's top 3 in field goals at the rim, right? So this guy's getting to the basket when you know he wants to get to the basket. He's still getting there. And you look at his last 8, he's averaging 28, 6, and 7. I mean, there's every metric you look at. You can look at the last 8, you can look at the last 15. 2 steals a game that he's throwing into those mix. He's top 5 in the NBA in steals per game. Think about that. Like, we think about the offense. He's one of the best defensive players in the NBA. You look at defensive rating and defensive field goal percentage, and all the list goes on and on. But he's putting up numbers, Ryan, that are in the category of, if you factor in all of his numbers, points per game, rebounds, assists, and steals, it's him, it's Jokic, and it's Giannis. That's the company that he's in. To me, that is pretty darn elite. He should be an all-star. National TV, that game did not go, obviously, how they wanted against the New York Knicks, but he got his 30 points, and I think he showed a national audience how good he is. On a night that nobody could get it going offensively for the Magic, he gets another 30-point performance. So I think, to me, that solidified his all-star status. To the national media, we knew about it, but hopefully he becomes the 10th All-Star in Orlando Magic history. He's absolutely carried this team, and he's comfortable. He's found a rhythm. He's not forcing shots. He's only taken 3 more shots a game than last year, but he's been effective with it. He's only getting 1 more free throw attempt per game. I mean, he's found ways to succeed. He's been very efficient. He gets teammates involved. It's been an absolute revelation, and I'm with you. even if he didn't play to this level, you'd say, well, you understand locking up a guy like Franz Wagner for this team, this market, this city, team that drafted him. You have to give that guy the max extension. You have to do it. And I never understood anybody saying, yeah, you can't really do that. And then you look at what he's done, and now it's just obviously even more obvious to have done that.
You see Dante Marcatelli on the FanDuel Sports Network alongside Jeff Turner, of course, our friend David Steele, and everybody there with FanDuel Sports covering the Orlando Magic. Dante is with us here on 1010XL in Jacksonville. A lot of Magic games, by the way, airing on our station this year, Dante.
Yes, we're proud of that.
Yeah.
Very proud of that, Ryan.
A lot of people up here are very excited about Orlando, no question about that. I'll tell you this, if I'm an opposing team, it is a nightmare facing Jalen Suggs and KCP. Not only are they, by the way, KCP's playing really well offensively, so is Suggs, but their defense, there have been a couple of games this year in the fourth quarter where teams were just done. They wanted no part of Suggs and KCP in the fourth quarter. I mean, what a defensive effort. And you had Isaac coming off the bench and Mo Wagner and Anthony Black. I mean, again, I'm trying not to get too high here, but as a guy who is, quite frankly, Dante, suffered with this team for the better part of the last 2 decades, it's hard not to dream a little big the way they're playing right now.
Well, and I think you have to. And listen, we've been through a lot. Magic fans certainly have been through the ringer here the last, 3 or 4 iterations of the rebuild. It just hasn't gone according to plan. And then you caught lightning in a bottle with Franz Wagner and then obviously, Paolo Banchero with the number 1 pick. But yeah, you don't get too far ahead of yourself. And who knows what the heck it looks like this year, because it looks like Cleveland's unbeatable. It looks like Boston is going to be difficult to beat. But it's early. It's 2 months into the season, so anything can change between now and then. But I think I keep going back to the fact that you don't have your best player, and only 3 teams have more wins than you. I mean, that's astounding. Not to mention, you've played more road games than anybody. 16 of your first 25 have been on the road. And if you win in the quarterfinals and you go to Vegas, then there's a chance where 19 of your first 29 are going to be on the road, right? So you've played more games than anyone, more road games than anyone. You've played the second most back-to-backs. So your schedule has kicked you in the butt. You haven't had your best player, and you've still found a way to stay above water. So, I think all of that comes down to, yes, Franz has been stellar. Guys have had different moments where they've stepped up, but it's their defense. They hang their hat on their defense, and you're right. When it's winning time and it's time to get a big stop, you're trying to get a basket on Suggs, KCP, Goga Batadze, who has quickly become one of the best rim protectors in the NBA. Jonathan Isaac, you can go to that lineup. You can throw him out there at the 4. And Wendell. I mean, you're trying to get a basket on those guys. And it's been very hard for teams. They're one of the best one of the best defenses anyway, but they're the best fourth quarter defense in the NBA. They just wear teams down, and that's been a joy. So even on nights, because let's face it, this team does not shoot the basketball well. They're bottom of the league in 3-point shooting, all metrics, field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, but they create offense from their defense, and they can beat any team on any night because of the way they defend.
I try to take my Orlando Magic blinders off, but you mentioned the depth. I got to tell you, Dante, 1 through 13, 1 through 14, the entire size of a game day roster, I honestly don't know if there is a deeper 1 to 14 team in the NBA than the Orlando Magic.
Yeah, you might be right. I mean, Boston would make a case, obviously, with the guys that they trot off the bench, but they're not a ton of household names per se. And Cleveland certainly has some depth. But, yeah, you're right. OKC, when they're right with Chet Holmgren, there are teams that have some depth. But, yeah, you could argue to that point. I mean, because you're coming off with Jonathan, you're coming off the bench with Jonathan Isaac and Mo Wagner. Only Peyton Pritchard has more points off the bench than Mo Wagner. I mean, he's become a legitimate 6-man candidate. He's just instant offense. Coach said yesterday he wakes up with 10 points, and so that guy comes off the bench and is already instantly ready to make an impact. And then, when Gary Harris, there's a guy with almost 900 NBA games under his belt that you have as an option when he's healthy. Anthony Black is emerging as one of the bright young stars in this league, certainly from a defensive standpoint, and he's brought it on the offensive end. He's become the playmaking guard that this team desperately needs, because it's just kind of not in the DNA of Jalen and KCP. They do other things, and you don't want to take away from that. But Anthony Black's a guy that can facilitate and get guys going. And then you're looking at Jonathan Isaac, and that's it. And then what do you do when Paolo comes back, one of these guys now goes to the bench. So that makes you even deeper. You seem to have hit something with Tristan Da Silva. It's a guy that played 4 years in college, so he comes in and helps you to the point that it's very difficult to get Jet Howard, who's the 11th overall pick, on the floor. It's just, you're right. They are one of the deepest teams in the NBA.
Final moments with Dante Marchitelli, and that's the crazy thing. Most of these guys are signed to multi-year extensions, and I am passionately rooting against the Denver Nuggets every night because the the Magic own their pick too. So Orlando's going to have 2 picks in the first round of the next year's NBA draft. Just an amazing job of roster construction down there in Orlando. We certainly haven't seen that with the Jaguars up here. That's why I need the Magic, Dante, because it's been a rough year covering the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Well, listen, I'm right there with you. I'm a Patriots fan, so if anybody's had a worse year than the Jags, it's my Patriots. Oh my goodness, and I'm not used to that. But nobody feels bad for Patriots fans with the last 20 years, so I totally get that.
Well, my wife's a New England girl, so she can totally relate to that.
So you relate, and our Red Sox aren't giving us much more either. So, but here's the thing with what you just mentioned with the roster construction. I think that's so valid, and I think people need to realize, you look at free agents, and Paul George, who we're going to see tonight. Here in a few minutes. That's one of the guys that, everybody, a lot of Magic fans thought we should go get a guy like Paul George. Well, look how many he's played 10 games. He's played 10 of their 19 games. So you just can't count on a guy like that. And I don't know that this team needs to go the route of free agency. That seems to be a dying trend in the NBA. Most times it's acquired through a trade. And if you need another piece to make that quote unquote championship run, it could happen this year at the trade deadline. It could happen in the offseason. It could happen next year around the NBA draft. And you could go all in because of that draft capital that you have. You have your pick this year and you have that Denver pick. You have all your picks moving forward. So you can package that together. You have young guys that you can package together if you need to. I mean, certainly you don't get excited about losing anyone on this roster, but you have the ability to add through trade, through the draft if you choose, or through free agency if there's a guy available.
Dante, as we wrap up, it's been 36 days, not that I'm counting, since Banchero got injured. What are we thinking? How much longer till we might see Paolo back on the floor?
Yeah, it's hard to say. I know they're going to reevaluate in 4 to 6 weeks, and we just passed that 4-week threshold. And we're coming up on almost 5 weeks now since the original injury. The good news is, for those listening and haven't really followed, he has been back on the court doing some light jogging and some light shooting. No contact yet, but they're starting to that's at least the start. Get him back on the court, get him start going through some drills and going through some light shooting. And I think that's huge. That's huge for his psyche, just to get him back out there, and said how good it felt the last couple of days just to be out there and to be able to get some shots up. They won't rush him. If there's anything we know, we won't rush them, and we get a better chance of getting the missile launch codes from NORAD than finding out the exact day that he'll be back, because they keep that stuff so close to the vest. But I think that's the first step. You had to get him back on the court, and now hopefully it's sooner rather than later. I mean, they're not going to rush him, but and you have the luxury now, Ryan. You don't need to rush him. He can be completely 100% healthy by the time you bring him back because of how well the team's playing right now.
That's a great point. Dante, leave us with this. I mean, I know you guys feel the excitement in Orlando, but as we talked about, we air the games here on 1010XL. Do you guys feel the excitement in Daytona, Jacksonville, Tallahassee? I mean, there's a lot of people that are all of a sudden a lot more interested in the Magic than maybe they were a couple of years ago.
Oh, you're exactly right. You're exactly right. And we're seeing it across the Magic Audio Network, great cities like Jacksonville and you guys at 1010XL, but we're all the way up in the Panhandle. There's a ton of excitement. And then you go down to Sebring and really, and then all up and down the coast. I mean, it's been great to see. And, it's been hard. It's been hard the last, since 2012, you started this. So for the first 10 years of that, trying to dig out of the rebuild, it was hard. And there was not as much interest, certainly, as we're seeing now. And I think the most remarkable thing is the buzz that's in town. So we're seeing it in Orlando. I'm sure you're seeing it around town, and especially when we get to the playoffs last year, we saw that in Cleveland as we get to the playoffs this year. But everybody's excited. That Kia Center is rocking. The Magic are still the only team that's undefeated at home. They're 9-0. We just feel like we haven't been there that much. So they've been able to take advantage of their home court. So fans come in, they're excited. We've been selling out the arena. There's such a buzz in town. And now this NBA Cup, they're one of 8 teams that have advanced in the NBA Cup. So they'll be back on a national stage Tuesday in Milwaukee, trying to make it to Vegas, which for this team, this group of young guys, that's a huge thing. That means a lot to these guys. And you saw how much it meant to the Lakers last year, which was pretty cool. So I think, yes, there's a buzz all around the state of Florida, and we're seeing it. The coolest thing to me, because I came I started with the organization just on the heels of Shaq leaving. But there were still a lot of fans, and and Penny was still here, so we'd see a lot of Penny jerseys on the road. And then we start, when the Magic went back to the finals, you saw Dwight and Richard and Hito and Turkoglu and Hito, Turkoglu and Jameer and all those guys jerseys on there. We're starting to see the Bancheros, the Wagners, the Suggs. We're starting to see all these jerseys again on the road, all these Magic fans traveling and showing up in these different cities. So that to me is really a cool sign when you start seeing these fans in these different venues.
I tell people in Jacksonville all the time, it's an easy 1 hour and 45-minute drive.
Yes.
Parking down there is no problem at all. The Kia Center's fantastic. Church Street, right outside. I'm a Corona cigar bar guy after the game down in downtown Orlando. Absolutely love it. And Dante, I'll tell you this: 16-6 when you guys call the games. I don't like national TV anymore. I need Marcatelli, I need Turner, I need Steele. That's what I need moving forward.
I love it. Well, I appreciate it. It's fun for fans to kind of get a national perspective, but yeah, for some reason, those have not gone great for us. So let's get back on carrying all the games on FanDuel Sports Network. We got it again tonight. It's such a joy to be able to call these games with Jeff and to work with David and Kendra, and it's so much fun. So we appreciate it, and we can't thank you enough for the games that you guys carry, obviously on 1010XL. RJ Saunders and Steve Griffin and you, Ryan, you guys have been so great to us, and we're so appreciative. So thank you very much, buddy, and let's have a great season. Let's do this again in April, or if not before then, and just talk about hopefully what was a fantastic season for the Magic.
Dante, always enjoy the conversation, pal. We'll do it again soon.
Okay, you got it. Tell your wife to hang in there. The Pats will be back in a decade or so. They'll be great. We're hang in there. We'll be all right. All right, buddy. Take care, Ryan. See you.
Uncover what you might have missed.
He's quick. He's got great hands. He finds the gaps.
Tandy Foods Post-Game Monday.
And most importantly, he moves the chains.
Expert analysis of Sunday's game all day. Post-Game Monday. Brought to you by Tandy Foods on 1010XL. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a septic tank emergency.
Don't let your holidays go down the drain. Duck Rooter's here to save your Christmas cheer. Whether it's a stubborn clog, a burst pipe, or a septic scare, we'll fix it faster than Santa can slide down a chimney. Duck Rooter. Call us now and save the day. 904-862-6769 or visit duckduckrooter.com. Duck Rooter, because nobody wants a silent night in the bathroom.
When you roll into a convenience store for some cold Bud Light, you want to make sure it's, cold. Check out the big coolers at Circle K. They make sure it's chilled and ready to go for the big game or party. Swing by Circle K and pick up some cold Bud Light.
Here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Make a crucial catch against colon cancer. Hicken here for the Borland Groover Foundation. If you're 45 or older, the ball is in the red zone to get screened. The key to surviving colon cancer, early detection and prevention. 45 is the new 50. Get screened for colon cancer now. The Borland Groover Foundation is a nonprofit organization devoted to building a healthy and equitable community that is free from colon cancer. Visit BorlandGrooverFoundation.com for more.
If you're looking for custom metalwork, look no further than Superior Fence and Rail. Whether it's custom railing, shade structures, or custom entry gates, their expert team controls the turnkey process. From CAD design and raw metal to powder-coated finish and expert installation. When you choose Superior Fence and Rail for your custom metal project, you get a project that's, well, superior. So get off the fence and call Superior Fence and Rail today.
When it comes to towing products, your safety on the road is the priority at Cannons of Jacksonville. Whether it's a heavy-duty tow hitch, trailer frame, wiring, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons has decades of experience to ensure your towing setup is installed with precision and reliability. Visit cannonsofjax.com to explore a range of products and schedule your installation. Cannons of Jacksonville, your trusted partner for a smoother tow.
Does the building you go to work in every day need a little love and attention? Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Great companies take great care of the buildings their staff and customers walk into every day. If the building you're in doesn't match the vision you have for your company, we can help. Go to performance-painting.com. Our highly trained team makes the difference. Quality coatings applied with pride.
Performance Painting! Hey folks, Dave Binion with Zero Res. I asked my wife what she wants for Christmas, and she said the same thing she does every year. She wants a clean home full of family and friends. That means the carpets, the tile and grout, the large oriental rug in our family room, and the huge sectional sofa that everyone loves to hang out on all need a good Zero Res cleaning. Give Zero Res a call and get your carpets cleaned for only $49 a room, and get your tile and grout cleaned for 25% off. Zero Res spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
Zero Res. Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. You know, pool design has come a long way, and if your pool is outdated, Stanley Pools specializes in bringing older pools up to date for the whole family to enjoy. That's why I did it a few years ago, and man, I love the way my pool looks now after we added travertine pavers and so much else. Stanley Pools has been serving our community since 1988, so call them today at 269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Navy Mutual was created by service members for service members, so we know what it means to serve. Our policies have no active duty service restrictions, so you can rest assured that you're covered no matter your duty station, home or abroad. To go even further, we promise that premiums will not be higher for those who serve in dangerous environments, including aviation, diving, or on deployments. Let us help you protect those you love the most. Learn more at NavyMutual.org.
The inflation fighter is back and saving you thousands at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. Mia here, and right now at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned, just $500 down and $288 per month gets you a pre-owned 2021 Toyota Corolla. Or you choose a pre-owned 2021 Camry, RAV4, or Tacoma for just $500 down and $388 per month. You also get no payments till January 2025. It's all at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. Shop in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com.
Injured in an accident? Have mounting medical bills? Can't work? Don't worry. Zach's got your back. I'm Zach Von Rowan of Von Rowan Law. I will fight for the compensation that you deserve. Set up your free consultation at zachsgotyourback.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Friday night, Hacker After Dark, 1010XL, 92.5 FM. We are with you till 10 o'clock, as we are every evening. Coming up here in the 9 o'clock hour, we will go to Nashville, get the Titans' perspective on this matchup coming up on Sunday. My buddy Brad Steele, he is the host of the Two Tone Talk podcast covering the Tennessee Titans, and we will get his thoughts, his perspective from a Tennessee point of view on what this game means for Brian Callahan, Will Levis, and the Titans coming up on Sunday. So Brad Steele, the host of the Two Tone Talk Titans podcast, at the bottom of the hour. We'll also put a bow on National Signing Day from earlier this week Andrew Ivins is the National Scouting Director for 247sports.com. And we will look back on the class that Billy Napier and the Florida Gators put together. Andrew Ivins comes up in less than 10 minutes. It is getting interesting on the high school gridiron tonight. Raines, back-to-back touchdowns, has taken the lead at the Graveyard over Sarasota Booker. Raines leads 28-23 in the third quarter. The winner of that game will advance to the Class 3A state championship game. Also, St. Augustine giving American Heritage everything they want. Denmark, did Heritage hit the field goal?
They did, 31-22.
So American Heritage up 31-22, 7 minutes to go. This game was 28-9 not all that long ago. So St. Augustine making this a ball game, but still down 9 with about 7 minutes to go. Trinity Christian season will come to an end tonight. A good season for the Conquerors, not going to end the way they wanted it to, as they're down to Chaminade Madonna 35-0 in the fourth quarter. Those are the high school players under the Friday night lights that hope to be playing on Saturdays one day. A lot of guys signed on the dotted line to play on Saturdays earlier this week. Let's talk about the Gator recruiting class under Billy Napier with Andrew Ivins, the National Scouting Director for 247sports.com. He's next. Friday night, Hacker After Dark. Glad you're with us. 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Sometimes it's a stunning performance.
3 touchdowns tonight.
Sometimes it's the guy who gets the job done.
He doesn't take a play off.
Listen from a Universal Roof and Contracting Offensive Player of the Game.
He is a difference maker now.
On 1010XL.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
Matt Hayes here for Prize Picks. Download the app today and use code JAX to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's promo code JAX to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game.
Greetings from Daytona, where a band of dreamers took a strip of beach and turned it into a proving ground. The Great American Race, where year after year, greatness is the destination.
Drivers, start your engines, let's go!
So book your experience and soak in 500 miles of history and tradition. The Daytona 500, February 16th, 2025. Secure your seats now at Daytona500.com.
This is your Mad Dad's Update with Chapter President Donald Ford. In our effort to curb crime, drugs, and violence during the summer months, we are offering Friday Night Lights. It has already started and will be going until school starts back. It is every Friday night from 6:30 to 9:30 at the Blacktop, 5732 Normandy Boulevard, and behind the Potter's House Christian Academy. We manage 3 basketball courts. You are not running on the cement. We have covering on each court. The Lakers, the Magic, and the Heat. Ages 15 to 40 years old. This will give them something to do other than selling drugs and getting into trouble. We have monitors there giving leadership. We have to wake up, stand up, and speak up. Hit me on Facebook and tell me what you think. Or MattDadJacksonville.com.
It's a Monday morning must.
We actually found it!
Yes. Hall of Fame Monday with Tony Baselli. Brought to you by Heritage Roofing of North Florida. Monday mornings at 7:20 with Dan and Jeff on the drill on 1010XL.
Ready to sharpen your aim or find the perfect firearm? Come to St. Nicholas Guns and Range. With a huge selection of guns, ammo, and accessories, plus Jacksonville's best indoor range for every skill level. They've got everything you need to hit your target. Whether you're a pro or just starting out, their friendly experts will guide you every step of the way at 4630 Blanding Boulevard or online at stnickguns.com. St. Nicholas Gun and Range. Gear up, shoot a lot, shoot better.
Mia here. When it comes to roofing, whether it be shingles, metal, or most repairs, there is one name that has protected your home since 1999. Pro Jax Roofing. Serving all of Northeast Florida, Mike and his guys have been repairing and replacing roofs for 25 years. Need insurance help? Mike's team can help. Raised in a military family, Mike provides great attention to detail with unparalleled quality and workmanship. They also have warranties, so you can have peace of mind. Call Mike today for a free estimate or online at projaxroofingfl.com.
3D Digital has you covered for any of your business's digital marketing needs. From producing award-winning videos to getting those digital ads to follow your customers around the internet, our team has your back. Visit 3ddigital.com or give us a call at 904-712-4004 to schedule a free consultation today. 904-712-4004.
Googan Nation, it's Dreamfinders Danny Hicken here to tell you this is no dream. The folks at Dreamfinders Homes right now have an unbeatable interest rate for you. You may not think you can afford a Dreamfinders home. Well, think again. Take advantage of a 2.99% year one rate. I said it, 2.99%. 15 Jacksonville communities to choose from. Find that dream house and take advantage of an unbeatable rate. Move now, literally. Dreamfinders Homes, the official home builder of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Atlantic Self-Storage, the official storage partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Need to make room to watch football in your home or need a place to park your boat or RV? Store it all at Atlantic Self-Storage. Over 50 locations in Northeast Florida. 24-hour access, all with month-to-month leases. Moving? They can help with supplies. They make storage easy. Go to AtlanticSelfStorage.com or call 877-WE-STORE to find a storage solution near you. Go Jags!
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. Are you tired of wrestling with your old shower curtain? Then say goodbye to the curtain chaos and hello to a new frameless shower enclosure. Wago Glass is clear, classy, and won't stick to you like a toddler at bedtime. Plus, it makes your bathroom look bigger and brighter. Upgrade your shower experience and step into style. Call me at Baker Glass and get ready to love your new glass shower enclosure. Baker Glass, no one treats you better.
1 second left. Packers are down by 6 at the goal line. Your defense is the only thing stopping them from scoring. Is your team prepared? Double Check Cybersecurity has your back. With an AI-powered defense, start your 14-day trial at doublecheck.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line. Hello. We can wiggle it.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. The December early signing period is in the rearview mirror. What a day it was for so many athletes locally, regionally, and nationally. And on the surface, what a day it appears it was for both the Florida Gators and the Florida State Seminoles. Let's talk about all of it with Andrew Ivins. He is the director of scouting for 247sports.com. And Andrew is always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. Andrew, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Just kind of recovering from a very busy Wednesday and gearing up for the next few days of the signing period. And then we get into these all-star games and you got the February signing day as well, so I'm doing good.
Yeah, I know it's a busy time for you. We appreciate you taking time out. All right, let's begin with Florida. I'll dive deeper in a moment, but the vibe I got from Gator fans, they're very ecstatic about what happened in the 2 weeks leading up to signing day. Maybe a little bummed out what actually transpired on signing day. From a mile-high perspective, how would you assess what Billy Napier was able to do?
Yeah, I think you got to get that reaction. I mean, hey, did Florida pull off the dream finish Wednesday? No. I mean, they didn't get everyone they wanted, but let's not forget, I mean, you go back to a month ago, right before Florida faced LSU, this recruiting class was sitting in the 50s. It was ranked, I think, 51st nationally. And then, they wake up Thursday morning and it's sitting number 11 knocking on the door for a top 10 finish. We haven't seen that type of rise really, since I've been doing this, and, I've been doing it for almost a decade now. It was quite the push, and I get it. There were some guys that Florida had hoped maybe they could pry away from some other schools. That didn't happen, but I think for Florida, there's plenty of reason to celebrate, and I think DJ Lagway is a major reason why the Gators were able to bust out the spatula and flip so many different prospects down the stretch. I mean, DJ was our top-ranked quarterback last cycle. He was a kid that many of these recruits knew, and then they all got a chance to see him lead Florida to 3 straight victories, 2 against ranked opponents, and one of them coming against an in-state rival. So I think for Florida, this was, a huge win for them. And really, if you compare it to this time last year, right, it's the complete opposite. Florida was bleeding down the stretch. They were tumbling in the rankings. Everyone was questioning Billy Napier's future. And the play of DJ Lagway has certainly flipped the script.
Andrew Ivins, the director of scouting for 247sports.com, here with us on 1010XL in Jacksonville. All right, Andrew, you're immersed in this world. I hear it, from people that are inside the bubble like you are. This is the vibe I've gotten. Tell me how accurate this is. Why did Florida flip so many guys? Well, you mentioned DJ Lagway. That was one of them. The other one was a vote of confidence that Billy Napier got. Guys figured out Billy was going to be back in 2025. And the third, and quite frankly, maybe the most important, certainly one of the most important, is Florida has their collective and NIL situation much better than it used to be. How accurate are those theories?
Yeah, I mean, I think you just named all 3 of the reasons. And really the last one with the name, image, and likeness. And, Florida obviously has a large alumni base. There is no shortage of boosters out there. But from my perspective, you go back to the start of the season and you kind of looked at Florida's class. It felt like there wasn't support from the top. And that's one of the main reasons why Florida wasn't able to, get things going much earlier in the cycle. And after that vote of confidence came, after it became clear that, okay, DJ Lagway has a chance to be special in the SEC, it seems like, from my perspective, and I don't think I'm far off here, the gates were opened a little bit, and that allowed Florida to go out there and make a run at some of these individuals. I think what's also unique about Florida's position, this whole recruiting process is just so accelerated. A lot of schools are taking commitments from players before they play their senior seasons. And, I'm in the evaluating and in the scouting business. That 12th grade year is so important to just try to project what a player can be. We're talking about, 16, 17, 18-year-olds. Not all of them are playing on varsity as a freshman or sophomores, especially if they're at one of these power programs. So, Florida finally got the green light to get aggressive. And I think what really stands out is, okay, some of these guys that they pulled away from other schools, the arrow is clearly pointing up. Florida had that opportunity to, scout, evaluate, stack the board, and then go out there and get aggressive.
Andrew, of the 24 or so new Gators that signed on the dotted line yesterday, give Gator fans here in Jacksonville maybe 2 or 3 that they should be the most excited about.
Yeah, and really, you can go up and down the signee list, and Billy Napier and his staff, you have to give it credit to him, right? When he came in, he said he was hiring an army of individuals. And I think you can select any of the 23 and make a case for them that they're going to be able to make an impact in the SEC. I think the headliner is Vernell Brown. Obviously, he's the legacy recruit out of the Orlando area. I mean, this guy is a chunk play machine, and he kind of reminds me a lot of Trey Wilson, who obviously has has dealt with some injuries there in Gainesville, but when he is healthy, he's electric. And I think Vernell Brown is going to potentially, bring that same type of excitement to the offense, someone that Billy Napier, they can utilize pre-snap, try to create some mismatches, get him the ball in space. The other guy that I love is Ben Hanks, cornerback from down in Miami. He's actually Miami-Dade's set the single season record in interceptions. He's got 13, I think it's 16 or 13. I can't even keep track. I knew a few weeks ago he had 20 career interceptions, and you think about all of the talented defensive backs that have come out of Miami-Dade. This is the guy that has the most takeaways. And, he's a bit lean, but his dad played linebacker for the Gators many, many moons ago, and he was a good one. So he's a kid that doesn't panic. And I think for Florida's defense, it might not be year one, but year two, year three, he has a chance to shut down one side of the field. And, I also just really like in general what Florida did on the defensive side of the ball. They're going to return a lot of guys in the front seven. You got the young linebackers, Aaron Childs, Miles Graham. They're coming along, and they just reloaded. Hilton Stubbs, the kid from Jacksonville, Mandarin. I think he fits UF's defense to a T. Big frame safety that can key and trigger, come downhill. Same with Laganza Hayward, who was kind of the biggest signing day addition for him. Florida flipping him from Tennessee. That's a kid from a small town in the Peach State. But I think he offers versatility. And as Florida continues to kind of blur the positional lines on the defensive side of the ball, they're getting guys that can do a little bit of everything. And that's kind of the name of the game.
A couple more for Andrew Ivins, Director of Scouting, 247sports.com. Andrew, final Gator question. Obviously, a majority of the hay is in the barn, maybe all of it. You tell me. Are there any leftovers? As Florida fan, do they need to be on the lookout in the coming days or as we look ahead to February for any couple additions that may come to this class?
Well, yeah, what's unique is this early signing period was as early as it's ever been. And I think we're in year 5 or year 6 of the December signing period. And initially, if you reverse it to the first time that came around, not everyone signed. Some people waited, and then, go back to last year. Pretty much everyone signed that initial day. But it feels like, and we don't have the data on it yet, we're still kind of crunching the numbers. It feels like there's more guys available than some of these previous years. And I think that's a product of, hey, there are teams that are playing for conference championships this weekend. You got head coaching changes at major Power 4 programs, North Carolina, UCF. So I think for the first time in a while, some student athletes, some of these recruits have hit the pause button. So I think for Florida, they are going to vet and they're going to look through what is still out there. And Billy Napier and his staff, they do an excellent job of assembling a board. And if they don't get plan A, they'll quickly move to plan B. And last year that was a guy like Jaden Ball, the true freshman running back. So we'll see what's out there for Florida. They're going to be grinding the tape, and they might be able to find a gem here over the next few weeks.
Andrew Ivins, Director of Scouting, 247sports.com. Andrew, I know it's been a very busy week for you. We certainly thank you for taking time out. We'll wait till the dust settles. Once we get some action in the transfer portal, we'll hope to have you back on, my friend. Thank you as always.
Yeah, it should be a busy few weeks with it opening on Monday. Thanks for having me on.
This crowd is electric. The difference between stepping up and stepping aside can be as simple as being stepped on. And he is slow to get up. Listen for the personal injury attorney's Farah and Farah Injury Update on 1010XL.
Jacksonville.
Hacker here. I know I've been sharing my Awaken 180 story for a while now, talking about how much I lost every week, and yeah, that's cool, but I get it, redundant. So let me tell you something that hit me like a freight train the other day. I checked out my Awaken 180 weigh-in portal, and the number just clicked. I started at nearly 320 pounds, and today, my scale read just over 200 pounds. Let that sink in. I'm now lighter than 90% of my buddies. And let me tell you, you, that's a flex I couldn't dream of a year ago. I owe it all to my Awaken 180 coach and to the program set out to work for anyone. It's been absolutely life-changing. Don't just take my word for it. Head over to my Twitter at RyanGreen1010XL. You'll see the transformation for yourself. But the real transformation, that's how I feel every single day, every step I take, and every morning I wake up. Get that same feeling. Awaken180weightloss.com.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 4-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year and right now make over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, your only cost are the books and the course fees. About $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org and you can apply there.
Apply by May 15th.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Don't make a bad call when it comes to servicing your home. Cooling off with a baby pool in the house to fix your air conditioning problem is a bad call. Trying to catch a wave in a flooded bathroom is a bad call. Using a burning electrical panel to make s'mores is a bad call. The next time something goes wrong, make a good call to Donovan.
Whether you need air, electric, or plumbing service, Donovan is always a good call. It's why we've been trusted by our customers for almost 40 years and why you can trust us to deliver fast, reliable service to your home. Donovan, always a good call.
Visit DonovanAC.com today.
If your favorite colors are orange and green, stay close to South Beach this season.
Your source for weekly Canes news and nuggets on 1010XL is the Hurricane Report.
Brought to you by Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve on 1010XL.
Are you embarrassed by your ugly, cracked concrete driveway? Need to enhance your home's curb appeal? Stonecore on Phillips Highway is your one-stop shop for all your outdoor needs. Replacing with new stone pavers will transform your driveway into a stunning work of art. Say goodbye to unsightly concrete and hello to beautiful, durable pavers that last for years. Visit Stonecore today and let's beautify your home together. Stonecore.co. We do outdoors better.
David Lane here again for Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. After several surgeries for age-old issues, mainly my back and shoulders, there's no doubt that Southeast Orthopedic Specialists is my sustaining resource for living pain-free. Take it from me, and I'm being really honest here, there's no better orthopedic facility here in Jacksonville.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Come on, admit it. Almost everyone you know seems to be playing pickleball now, right? So whether you just want to learn how to play or you're ready to show off your elite pickleball skills, the Y is the place for you. Visit our brand new McGuire Family Pickleball Center at the Brown Family YMCA in Ponte Vedra Beach. 5 top quality outdoor courts and 3 amazing indoor courts where you can learn about dinks, dill ball, falafel, the kitchen, and more pickleball slang at the Y.
Hey, y'all. Melissa Scobie here. And you know my husband, Josh, could really kick that ball. But when it comes to working around the house, well, not so much. So when I need irrigation, drainage, or seamless gutters, I rely on John Haney's crews at Clearwater. Hit it, guys.
Clearwater Irrigation.
And drainage, too.
ClearwaterJacks.com.
David here with Royal Pest Services. Here's a special message from our president.
Thanks, David. This is Jordan Harrington, president of Royal Pest Services. We'd like to thank everyone who has trusted Royal Pest for their pest control needs this year. Wishing all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from the Royal Pest family.
Need extra cash for the holidays? Beaches Jewelry and Pawn is always buying guns, musical instruments, surfboards, and tools, and pays cash money. Beaches Jewelry and Pawn in Jacks Beach. Online at beachesjewelryandpawn.com.
For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Attention golfers, Hidden Hills Golf Club is an attractive destination for golfers all over the Southeast. You too will enjoy our classic Arnold Palmer design that will test your game and keep you coming back. Book a tee time at hiddenhillsgc.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555, Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line.
Hello.
We can wiggle it.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. The Jaguars and the Titans, Sunday, 1 o'clock. Of course, you'll hear the game right here on 1010XL radio. Boy, what a barn burner this is going to be. The 2-10 Jaguars, the 3-9 Tennessee Titans. The players and coaches on both sides are going to want to win. I'm not sure if the fan base wants to win. A win now might actually hurt you in April come draft time. We'll talk about that. And we'll just kind of talk about why Tennessee is where they are. We're flabbergasted at why Jacksonville is where they are. Why is Tennessee almost as bad? With that, my buddy Brad Steele, he is the host of the Two Tone Talk podcast covering the Tennessee Titans. And Brad is always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. Brad, I hope you and the family had a great Thanksgiving, man. How are you?
Oh, man, I'm doing good. I had a better Thanksgiving than Matt Eberflus and the Chicago Bears. But, yeah, we had a good got a lot of good food and just trying to find some joy in this holiday season with the way this football season's gone.
Well, let's start there. I mean, look, I'm flabbergasted. Normally I won't say I'm right 100% of the time. I mean, who is? But I think I normally have a pretty good feel for the Jaguars. And I thought this year, they're not going to go to the Super Bowl, but I thought, 9 wins, certainly. It's what they did in the last couple of years. Maybe compete for a division, certainly compete for a wild card. And I've never been more wrong about the team here. What about the team you cover? Are you surprised that Tennessee is 3-9 and are at where they're at?
I am surprised. I'm kind of similar. I thought the absolute ceiling for this Titans team was 9 wins. I thought that was if everything goes right, if everything that can go right does, I could see 9 wins and maybe you're in that wild card race. But I am very surprised that it's this bad. Tough schedule. Yes, it has been a tough go. We've had to play the Bills, Lions, Chargers, you guys probably have about the same schedule we do. So it's a tough schedule, especially to have finished last in the division last year. You would think your schedule would be as easy as possible the next year. And it's been a tough go, but yeah, 3-9. I definitely didn't expect it to be this bad. And it's been a pretty excruciating year.
I think one of the issues, there's a lot of issues, quite frankly, but one of them, from the outside point of view looking in, is the Will Levis question. Now, I know Will Levis struggled at the beginning of the year. He looks like he's playing better. Has he done enough to warrant being the guy moving forward into 2025?
Well, I've done a lot of content about this, especially over the last few weeks, because you got to find something fun to talk about because it sure ain't the team. But
I can relate to that a little bit, Brad. Absolutely.
Oh, I know you know that struggle. But, Levis was really bad the first month, just as bad as it could be. I mean, just didn't even look like he was capable of being a backup early on. And I even made a video about it. I said I was done with him. I was like, you got to go get somebody else. This guy can't function in an NFL offense right now. And what happened is he got hurt and he sat out for 3 weeks. And now he's been back for a month. And ever since he came back, in a cruel twist of irony, now he's one of the only bright spots on the team currently. I would say he and maybe 2 other guys were the only guys that played well on Sunday in a disaster against Washington. So right now, and you got to keep in mind, it comes down to your personal opinion on the draft class coming in. I'm not high on any of the quarterbacks in this upcoming draft. I don't see anybody that I'd be willing to take a chance on. The free agent market's not going to be great. So right now, I do think he's the best option for next year. You don't have to pay him a ton of money. He's still on his rookie deal. So, you can bring him back. and the Titans have too many other needs. And I think he's played well enough for the last month that I think he is the best option right now. If, there's 5 games left. If he can continue to play well over this next 5 games, even if they lose them all, I think, that is their best option for next year. And I can't believe I'm saying that after how bad he started this year. But he's definitely improved.
Brad Steele is the host of the Two Tone Talk podcast covering the Tennessee Titans. He's with us here on 1010XL in Jacksonville. I remember talking to you in March when Tennessee came in at the 11th hour and stole Calvin Ridley from the Jaguars. And as a result of that, the Jaguars had to pivot and ended up drafting a guy named Brian Thomas. And I think that's actually worked out pretty well for the Jaguars moving forward. What about Calvin Ridley? How would you assess year number 1 for him in Nashville?
First, it sounds like I'm a broken record because I'm going to say the same thing about him I said about Levis. He started off, it was rough, and there were a lot of fans saying, well, why did we pay this guy? Because it just, the numbers weren't there. I mean, he just wasn't getting the ball, had a couple of drops, but I do think the quarterback situation was obviously playing a role in that. And ever since the Detroit game, which was, we got clobbered by the Lions, and I think y'all did too, but I think everybody's getting clobbered by the Lions.
Yeah, I think we actually got beat worse than you did, which was hard to imagine.
Well, we both let them put up 50. The Lions game, he finally, it's like it clicked with him, and he turned it on. And he's been, I think he's been good since then. He's, with DeAndre Hopkins being traded, he is the only major threat at wide receiver that we have. So, he's getting double teamed every week because, why not? Who else are you going to cover? But I think he's played well. He got off to a slow start, but he's played well. And next year he's going to be back. And hopefully, I think we need to draft a wide receiver as well if we have a top 10 pick. And he's, in terms of things I'm concerned about, he's not too high on that list.
Watching your podcast, the Two Tone Talk podcast, I know your thoughts about Brian Callahan here in year number 1. For people that have not seen your podcast, look, 3-9 and some questionable decision making. He's not going to be one and done, certainly, but is the pressure already going to be on him in 2025 there in Nashville?
Absolutely. I know you've had Tyler Rowland from Locked On Titans on before, and I echo his sentiments about it that he said on his podcast. It's been bad enough at times this season that he's going to be on the hot seat going into next year. If you get halfway through next season and it's not any better, he's out of there. And it's that never-ending struggle of first-time head coach, rookie head coach. You kind of wonder how patient you should be, how long of a leash should you have for the guy. There's certainly been fans that have been wanting to fire him since week 2. But, it's been a lot. You look at Sunday against Washington, you follow up a big win on the road against Houston, an emotional win that you feel like could be a building block for you. And you follow it up with this game against the Commanders where you come out totally flat, completely no energy at all. And the Titans have been facing, and I know I've listened to your show enough to know the Jaguars have done the same thing. It's been the same stuff all year. It never gets better. The penalties for us, the penalties, the turnovers, the special teams play, it never improves. It's just bad every week. And that concerns me for Callahan more than anything. That feels like a coaching issue to me, that there are issues here that are not even improving. We're in week, 14, and we're still dealing with the same stuff as we were in week 1. So that's pretty discouraging.
Couple more for Brad Steele, the host of the Two Tone Talk podcast covering the Tennessee Titans. I remember this offseason, you guys spent like $1 billion in free agency. Yeah. Every day you were signing somebody of substance. We talked about Ridley, but the other guys, do you feel like you've gotten the return on the investment? Because obviously the win-loss record isn't great.
Yeah, Tony Pollard was one that I was kind of scratching my head at, but he's played well. He did not on Sunday. Sunday he was not very good, but he's played well. You know, coming into a situation where you're replacing Derrick Henry, not the type of situation I would want to be in, but he's done well. L'Jarius Sneed's been a disaster. We traded for him from the Chiefs. He's been on. I mean, he's on IR now. He hasn't played since. I don't even know the last time he played. I think it was week 6, maybe was the last time he played. Cheeto Awuzie, that's a corner we brought in who's been on IR since week 3. He's coming back against you guys this week. So congratulations. If you're going to the game, you get to see Cheeto Awuzie. But is this Sunday in Nashville?
Yeah, it is in Nashville, yep.
Well, you get to watch it on TV, I guess. But, other than that, Lloyd Cushenberry was doing a good job at center. He got hurt. He's on season-ending IR, tore his Achilles. So injuries have played a part in it. But ironically, Calvin Ridley has ended up being one of the better free agent signings. I'd say him and Tony Pollard have been, 2 of the better free agent signings that the Titans made out of all those moves. But, yeah, the L'Jarius Sneed thing is the one that stands out like a sore thumb because he was supposed to totally reinvigorate the secondary, and it's hard to do that when you're not in the game. So,
Brad, as we begin to wrap up, look, here in Jacksonville, obviously the players are going to want to win. The coaches are going to want to win, and that might be the extent of it. I don't know many other people here that want to win because a win now at this point is bad. The Jaguars have officially been eliminated from the playoffs. You guys obviously are not far behind. I know you know that. Right.
Yep.
Do the Titan fan base, are they looking at these last 5 games as they want to win, or are they already thinking about 2025?
I think there are certainly fans who see the merit in getting a couple of wins because Callahan's a first-time head coach. Levis is a young quarterback. If these guys are going to be back next year, it's good to figure out how to win some games, even if they're meaningless games at the end of the day. But also, we're at a time of year where, like you said, the Jags are eliminated. The Titans could be eliminated this very week. This is actually a pretty big game if you're looking at the draft. These 2 teams are going to be up there probably. And there's definitely people looking at that draft position coming out every week and saying, hey, maybe we need to start losing. But there is merit, I think, for this Titans team with so many young guys to figure out how to win some games. But I don't think they will. I think the Jags are probably the most winnable game left. But it honestly, in terms of morale, I don't know what you'd have to do to cheer this fan base up right now.
Yeah, look, the Jaguars officially eliminated earlier this week with that Broncos win on Monday Night Football. I would highly doubt we're going to see Trevor Lawrence again this year. I don't know why on earth you would put him back in there when he clears protocol. I just think you shut him down. You see him in April when off-season conditioning starts, and you hope you get the best draft pick imaginable with hopefully a new coaching staff and a new general manager. It's going to be an interesting off-season. Brad, final question. Azeez Al-Shire, the young man that just a ridiculously dirty hit on Sunday against Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars. He's got a history of dirty hits. He made a really bologna sausage apology, in my opinion. I'll use the term bologna sausage because I can't use the other BS. And the interesting thing about that was I know the Texans PR staff kind of made him do that. The media relations department out there in Houston said you got to put something out. He played for you guys last year in Nashville. What was your take on the whole situation here last week with Houston and him, and what do you remember of him in Nashville a season ago?
Well, I guess he's public enemy number 1 in Jacksonville right now. He was a decent player here in Tennessee. When he didn't get brought back in the offseason, there were a lot of fans who were like, oh, no, what are we going to do? I was just never that worried about because, he's an all right linebacker, but it was not one of those things where it was like the world was ending because we lost him. I don't remember any dirty hits from him here, but you could obviously look when he was with the 49ers. There were some dirty hits. And just this season alone, that's what cracks me up when all these people are saying, well, that's just not the kind of player he is. I'm like, well, we have proof that it is. I mean, the week before he laid this hit on Trevor Lawrence, they played the Titans, and the hit that he made on Tony Pollard, about 3 yards out of bounds, shoving him in the back, and that got flagged. He had one on Caleb Williams earlier this season. I mean, this is a repeat offender with this stuff. And obviously the one on Trevor was the worst, the most egregious in my opinion. But I was stunned watching live, and, now he's suspended for 3 games, and obviously a fine probably coming as well. But I mean, I think it's irresponsible of D'Amico Ryans to, there's a way you could stick up for your player without being ridiculous. And he was ridiculous in his comments about it. Was it yesterday? I guess he made those comments. Just unbelievable that you would try to blame it on anybody but him and try to, I think he said the Jaguars were over dramatic in the way they acted. I mean, their quarterback's laying there with his fist locking up on his back. I mean, that's a scary scene for any player. But, I was actually, I said good on Evan Ingram for coming in there and, knocking his head off probably about 4 or 5 times. Probably would have, hit him with an RKO if he could have.
Yeah.
But I said good on him for coming in there. That was just ridiculous. And although I don't remember him doing that here in Tennessee or any hits like that here, he's at least been a repeat offender this season for the Texans. So that was a shame.
Yeah, it was wild. A wild scene, no question about that. I'm sure it'll be a wild scene in Nashville when the 2-10 Jaguars and the 3-9 Tennessee Titans get together. Brad, this will be so much fun on Sunday that we'll do it again here in Jacksonville in about a month. Yeah. And I'm certainly looking forward to that.
Enough.
Yeah, that'll be good.
We can't get enough.
Well, have a good couple of weeks. We'll have you back on when the Titans make the return trip. Again, catch Brad Steele and all his Titans coverage. The Two Tone Talk podcast covering the Tennessee Titans, available on all your social media platforms and where you find all your podcasts. Brad, always enjoy it, pal. We'll talk soon.
Appreciate you.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air, Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since '87.
And thank you to Brad Steele, who is the host of the Two Tone Talk Titan podcast, for joining us tonight here on Hacker After Dark and giving the Tennessee Titans perspective of this game. Talking to people like Brad that cover the Titans, I get the vibe, I could be wrong about this, we'll see on Sunday obviously, but I get the vibe that at least the Titan fan base wants this win a lot more than the Jaguar fan base does. I get the sense here that most of us have succumbed to the realization that losses are a good thing at this point. But Tennessee with a first-year head coach who's not going anywhere, trying to instill a winning culture with a young quarterback, right? Their starting quarterback, what they hope is their franchise quarterback in Will Levis. A win for the Titans on Sunday might actually mean more than a win for the Jaguars on Sunday, if that makes sense. So we'll see. Obviously, Calvin Ridley has said that he's circled this game. He's going to be fired up to be out there. We'll see what happens. Obviously, no Trevor Lawrence. Can the young Jaguars, Parker Washington had 100-plus yards receiving last week. Can that continue? What can Brian Thomas Jr. do? What do we get out of Travis Etienne and Tank Bigsby, Brenton Strange, obviously Evan Ingram? It'll be interesting. 5 games to go. And to me, the biggest storyline when it comes to the Jaguars is the Mac Jones factor, right? Can he rejuvenate his career? Can he resurrect his career? I.e. Sam Darnold. Can Mac Jones become the next Sam Darnold? Well, he's going to get a 5-game kind of tryout to do that, and we'll see if he does enough to get signed somewhere else in the NFL, or there's nothing wrong with this either if he comes back to be Trevor's backup in 2025. Obviously, Mac wants another opportunity to start in the NFL, no question about that. But if worse comes to worse, you could do a lot worse than Mac Jones as a backup quarterback, so it'll be interesting to see what he does with this opportunity over the next 5 games. Now, next time you hear me will be on Sunday, 2 hours after the Jaguars and the Titans go final. Myself, the head coach Dave Campo, and the Pro Bowler Leon Searcy will have the 5th quarter for you here on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. Again, 2 hours after the Jaguars and Titans go final. So we should get underway around 6 o'clock or so Sunday evening, and we do hope that you join us then. Dylan Denmark was your producer tonight. Dylan, great job as always. I'm the hacker Ryan Green. And again, Jacksonville, thank you for spending not only your Friday evening with us here on Hacker After Dark, but your entire week with us. And as we always tell you, and we cannot possibly tell you enough how much we absolutely appreciate it. So for all of us here on HAD, have an absolutely terrific remainder of your Friday evening and a fantastic weekend. And I will talk to you Sunday night for the 5th quarter right here on 1010XL. Until then, good night, Jacksonville.